couple things I wanted to bring up here. There's a car that just pulled up. It's one of these, it's called The Lab. I think it's a workout idea, or in a way it's like a mobile workout situation where you hire a personal trainer or similar. I have to look it up again, but The Lab, you know, Roman numeral 7. And someone was coming out of, or they opened up their garage nearby to that car that pulled up like across the street, and there was a full-length mirror precariously or strategically positioned in the garage. So really quick, I wanted to put something through here. And another thing happened. A woman across the street from where I was walking a dog came out with one of her kids, and she's, you know, I guess she's heavyset-ish. I happen to know her from the dog walking world in general. So was The Lab for her? Because she happened to come out of her back door garage when The Lab, which is in a Clubman or a Countryman, like one of those, you know, mini coupes but bigger. Or was it for me? Or was it for anyone else who might have walked on the block? And would you be made to feel like a fat cow? No offense to using the word fat, it's just I'm trying to make a point in this case. Could that be a scenario to make you feel, or to punish you? Say you had an idea. Like, I'll give an example. I walked from one dog walk to the other this morning, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run in really quick to the store because I really don't have any chocolate in the house, like edible chocolate. It's hard to explain. Anything would be used for like mixing or whatever. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a treat. Instead of getting a latte, which is more expensive, I'll get a bar that I can like kind of click off chocolate from, you know, one piece at a time. And I'll make that last, you know, through the weekend or whatever, or longer depending on how good I am. So I thought, and I also thought about getting gorgonzola cheese or blue cheese crumble to put on spring mix salad that I have for a salad, because it's nice to put nuts and cheese on like a spring mix salad. I was like, should I do that? You know, and the other side of my brain is like, well, I'm doing the fruit smoothies, I'm being like extra good, I don't want to buy anything that's gonna counteract that. So I'm all happy, like, you know what, I think I'll do it for the weekend because it's not that many calories, this, that, and the other. And what pulls up at the end of a dog walk would be The Lab, which is a serious, you know, I'm pretty sure it's a serious workout, mobile trainer, personal trainer, if you will, like Orange Theory. So that pulled up. And, you know, so opinions in the comments section. What would you do if that happened to you 10 times a day on a daily basis? And it's like every time you have a thought, someone has to squash it or punish you. Oh, you're not thinking about picking up gorgonzola cheese and chocolate, are ya? Or Ice Plus Caffeine Blue Raspberry, are ya? Not after you started that fruit smoothie. I don't think so, young lady. We're gonna pull up references that make you feel like you need to stay on track with this beautification program, quote unquote, you know, better body program. So not only do people, you know, unable to love themselves because of, you know, other things like advertising, models, you know, mannequins, stuff like that. But then they're pounded. You have one idea to run to the grocery store for a very small treat, even if it's organic. Like, I could go to an organic grocery store and get something that's technically healthy, but a treat because a girl needs to have her chocolate, you know what I mean? But pounded away by some mysterious orchestration of events, as if some sadistic, satanic creature decided to give you a great idea and then make you feel guilty about that idea. So anyway, second part of my talk today, and I can talk about this again in another video, but it's about the amount of silence or noise that you hear on a daily basis, and can that change depending on who's in your presence, and what does that mean about whomever is in your presence that seems to uptick the noise of the universe. lately it's been incredibly peaceful. Like, did someone die and like just fall over and the world got silent? I don't know what happened, but that's what it can feel like. But I remembered that when I was living with my mom and aunt, my aunt would go on vacation with her older son. Her oldest son, she had 2 sons, her older son and wife decided to take her on a cruise, originally to like the Virgin Islands, but they got rerouted to Cozumel because of a hurricane issue that cropped up. Anyway, lo and behold, they were out there for 3 extra days beyond what they paid for. Like, they weren't allowed, the hurricane was so bad that they couldn't even return to port until it was over. So they got 3 extra free days, if you will, at sea. But I will say this, and you know, I loved my aunt dearly. She passed away, as did my mom. But my mom and I, it's technically my aunt's house because she was married twice and wound up in a position, and when her second husband passed away, my mom moved in with my aunt at the old house, and then they were able to sell that and then move into this other house anyway in Gainesville, Florida. But when my aunt was away, it was like peace fell over the trailer home, if you will. And it was this odd thing of, what's the difference? Like, you know, my aunt was nice, so it's not like, it's like, what is the actual difference? If you remove someone who has too much noise in the air around him or her, a lot of peace will ensue. Now, granted, there are other dynamics at play, which could include when it's not your own home, you don't feel as free to move about the cabin, if you will. You kind of feel like, you know, there's always that little hidden thing of, you know, no one actually wanted to be living in this house. Most people want to be independent and not feel like a burden to anyone. Most people want to own their own homes, or, you know, have say and not worry about upsetting anyone or breaking anything or causing any damage. So those dynamics, or those ideas, were gone, I guess, if you will. It's hard to explain, but in a way, her absence created so much peace. It was like, I can't believe how good the vibes are. What is it? Anyway, lots of trucks here. Pulling up to the store that I thought about running into really quick.